start the session in earnest. So, Reverend Onyamiakwa, can you give us a very short prayer?
Shall we bow down our heads and share a short prayer? Heavenly Father, we thank you for this evening. In a gathering like this, we want you to lift yourself high, God. By lifting your name high, you will call many unto you. Be king over this gathering and let us have understanding of you, as well as to know your love. So at the end, we will live together as one people. Be blessed and bless us this evening in the mighty name of Jesus Christ we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very much, Reverend. Now, to my right hand, of course, we have three physically dressed and gentlemen. Our guests this evening, main speakers, and you have to know them by names. We have Julius Matogo. He is the vice chairman of UGOM, which is an acronym, and UGOM is Ugandan Gays on the Move. He is going to talk on, they have a community of Ugandan gays who are in this country on asylum, status. He's going to give us short, idea of what it is like, in that context to be gay on the run. Also, we have the chairman himself of the same organization, and he is Moses Walusimbi. He is also going to discuss with us the issue of what it is like to be a gay in Uganda, and what is actually the whole issue of why they have to seek abode, outside their countries of origin. In the middle of the two gentlemen, we have Simon Bloom. Simon is a councillor at the now what we call the Southeast, Amsterdam Southeast Municipal Authority. He is on the ticket of the FFD, and he's also going to share his experience here. Now there's this movement of being yourself, who you are in Southeast and in Amsterdam. He's also behind, one. And his partner here is Chris. He's also one of the four runners of this movement on this, what you call it, be yourself in Amsterdam.
Can I say something?
Please.
Thank you for the introduction.
Okay.
Two things. I'm not a member of VVD.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm from Green Left.
Oh, sorry for that.
And I'm in the city council.
City council.
Not anymore in the
Something else.
city.
Oh, okay, sorry for that. We've known him for that, and it's on record for that. So that information, I'm very sorry for that. He's corrected actually the description I made of him. Our first speaker, of course, will be Julius, who is going to have a word on his experience and a few things he wants to share with us. Can you please take us through?
I would like to ask a question first. Has any one of you ever imagined an environment whereby he is not liked? Have you ever imagined being the black rat in the community or in the collection of white rats? What would it feel? I used to live a life of isolation because of who I am. I tried as much as possible to hide it by pretending to be a straight person, which I could not go on with. In Initially, my idea was to first show you what it is really to be gay or to be lesbian, bisexual, trans person in Uganda. What is it really like? Unfortunately, there is no connection, so I miss out that opportunity. But it's not an easy job to hide yourself for who you are. And you can do it and do it, but in the end result, any of the people will know you. It may be the public itself, it may be your family, relative, or friend, and they know about you. You know our cultures. We've been with the introduction of religion by the countries that colonized us. Many communities or societies have been made to believe that homosexuality is something that was just brought to us. And on such grounds, we've been segregated. To take you back, homosexuality, I can call it sexual diversity, existed before even colonialism. It was there. Only that, after colonialism, we were made to believe that this kind of state is something which is abomination after bringing us religion. I can mention examples of King Shaka, the Zulu, whom I think any one of us here know. This was a prominent homosexual. And it existed before even colonialism. I'll give another example of the Azande people who still even exist in Congo. That is the Democratic Republic of Congo. In those forests exists a tribe called the Azande people. They practice homosexuality from centuries and centuries and centuries, even before colonialism, before the Belgians colonized Congo. No one taught them homosexuality. My point is, in my own country, where I come from, that is Uganda, there existed a king I'm even proud of. A king of a tribe I come from, that is Buganda. King Mwanga II was a prominent homosexual. And because after introduction of religion from the British who colonized my country, Mwanga was made an enemy to his people. How? When the British preached to the community about homosexuality being bad, people started rebelling against Mwanga, and the punishment he gave them was to burn them down because he was the king. People were not listening to him. Today, we celebrate the Martyrs' Day. Those people who died because Mwanga punished them because they criticized him. Yet, these people were just made to turn against Mwanga by the colonialists. My point in it is, we should not see homosexuality as a new phenomenon on the African continent. In fact, we should embrace it that other countries, other African countries, an example of Zambia, an example of South Africa, they are examples of countries that are realizing that this diversity, sexual diversity exists, and they are embracing it. We are seeing an example of Kenya. Kenya repealed, just say that we cannot bring in this kind of law to punish these people. I can tell you that the colonialists are the trouble causers of homophobia that exists on our continent. Reason being, in most of the countries they colonized, they left us with laws. These laws, I can give an example of a law which in my country is called Penal Code Act of 1960, which talks about involvement in any act of canon knowledge, with canon knowledge, which includes homosexuality, which includes someone who sleeps with another person of the same sex. branding it as something which is abomination. This law was also taken to other countries like Kenya. Wherever you think of the British went, they left this law. So from these laws, people started hating, and I'm one of the victims who is affected by these laws. So briefly, I'll tell you that being an asylum seeker on grounds of being homosexual is not also easy. You're already tormented with the situation you've been living in Uganda or in any other African country or in any country. We have even Russia. They don't accept it. But an example of being an LGBT asylum seeker is not something I wish for anyone. Because first, you have memories back home. When you come here, you think maybe you've come to heaven, but no. When you go to camps, there is also discrimination. Actually, this afternoon, we've been talking about this. People are suffering in camps because of homophobia. Mind you, in camps, we have people coming in on different grounds of asylum seeking. Others are coming in as political asylum seekers, etc. So they come with their own culture, with their own bias on homosexuals. And what comes next is violence in camps, segregation. Being LGBT asylum seeker is really, really torturing. First, the system tortures you. When you go for interviews, you are asked a lot of questions which they cannot ask a straight person. How do you enjoy your sex? Does any person ask a straight person how to enjoy sex? These are the questions you find there, and you cannot explain because the environment you come from has designed you to closet yourself. And the more you closet yourself in the interviews, that's where the problem comes in. And they say, we don't believe you. Double torture, double trauma. That's not that.
Please, can I ask you something?
Yes.
Sexual preference is a private thing. Sexuality is normally practiced indoors between a man and a woman. So when a gay man is practicing homosexuality, it's between him and his partner indoors. We don't have sex or sexual issues, open in the public. So when you are having this thing in the comfort of your room, it is in your privacy. Why then do you think you have to come into the open and proclaim I'm a gay? That is where, in my estimation, you meet, reprehensive reaction from other people, because you might be, infringing on their rights or liberties. You chooses the homosexual have the privilege and opportunity of picking his partner, of the same sex, and nobody talks about it. It's between the consent of two people. Fine. You practice indoors. You make love indoors. Nobody sees it. So what has actually propelled you to come to the open and proclaim in pride?
I think he will address it, but I think it will be proper to let them finish, and then otherwise it's going to be
After the presentation,
I'm going to take note of the question.
Yeah, okay.
Why publicize
your sexual preference?
I was still continuing with my point. So, after having all this trauma, then you are not accepted. You are thrown on streets. You live really a double trauma life. So, to answer the question, what kind of life do asylum seekers who have asylum on grounds of their sexual preference face? That's the kind of life they face. And trying to answer this gentleman, I don't remember the name, why publicize? I can bring an example of kissing. Kissing now in Africa, people see it as something which is okay. Even if you see your daughter or son kissing his girlfriend or boyfriend, it's okay. Because you see it on TV, it's okay. So if it's okay, that means they are kind of showing the public their affection, right? So why is it that it's not proper for me to kiss my boyfriend on the streets? Why is it okay for a straight person to kiss? And you take it, okay, as something which is right. Am I trying to answer you?
Well, is kissing a sexual orientation?
It's partly.
No.
It's partly. When we talk,
Even in the Bible, we have kisses of affection, or brotherly kisses. There's a church in Ghana where their greeting is with the kisses of love. It's in the Bible, the Bible permits it. And people kiss in the open, and there's nothing wrong about it. But when you talk about sexual intercourse, it is practiced in the privacy of your home. Why do gays want to come out? And that is why, in my estimation, you are now facing opposition.
Can we leave the...
Can we leave the discussion? Let's finish with that. Okay, we will come back to that.
Come back to that.
Let's finish with
Can you run up and then...
the presentation before.
briefly, that's what I can say. Because I already told you the trouble cause of why the Menil is having this perspective. Already I showed you who brought you religion, who told you which religion tells you and describes you of what you have to do and what you don't have to do. Religion was brought to us. It's a foreign thing. We have our own religions, which even accepted us the way we were. You never hear of any traditional religion we had in Africa that talks ill about gays or lesbians or bisexual. But after the introduction of Christianity by the British, even it's not 3 centuries old when it's introduced to our continent. We have religions which have existed for centuries on our continent. So my point is, you are quoting a Bible that was just brought. It's foreign. The knowledge you are using is foreign. Try to go back and trace your own knowledge you used before. I believe where you come from in your country, you have this history. It's traced back. Homosexuality has existed as long as existed exactly the same time as man. So that's what I can tell you.
Thank you very much. Before we have Moses the next week, I think it's quite pertinent to mention at this stage that when we looked at this issue of sexual diversity in last year, the focus was on the argument whether the gay, feeling is genetical or is environmentally acquired.
And the choice.
Yes, it's a choice, or you just, by whatever design, turn out to be a gay. I mean, that was what we looked at. And in fact, at the end of the day, we had 2 groups, and I say majority were convinced that it's genetical, in a way. Probably in our discussion, we will still veer into that when we get into the discussion, segment. So I think that should be at the back of your minds. I'm wondering if any of the speakers will touch on that, but that should be another issue when we get to the discussion level. So Moses, I think we can listen to you now.
Yeah, but the has to go somewhere.
So let me speak before.
Yes, thank you for
Okay,
the
Simon, sorry.
Yes, I already said before that I couldn't stay at the end of this program, so I have to leave sooner, but that's okay. I hope another time we will...
Yes, but what we can do for your sake, when you finish, probably we can take few questions.
Yes,
first,
okay. So I hope that we would start earlier with this subject, but that's fine. It's really nice to be here again. Last year we spoke about this subject, and I remember that we had a very interesting discussion. It was a bit confronting, but it was good because we had a dialogue, we had a conversation. And for coming in a situation for acceptance and tolerance, I think having a good conversation is the first start. So a compliment for you for organizing that. And as I told you last time, but for people who don't know it, I'm a member of the city council of the party of Green Left. I live in the southeast also, and I'm a student, and I'm a spokesman on diversity matters, citizenship, youth affairs, and education. And in Southeast, I did something. I took the initiative with somebody from the VVD to come with a policy on sexual diversity here in Southeast. When you listen to the story of Julius, especially the first part of Julius, when he said, when he asked the question, how would you feel if you were in a situation of discrimination? And I think that is the main, the main topic. Placing yourself into another. How would you feel if you were discriminated because you are Christian, or because you are a woman, or because you are black? Discriminated because you are something. And I think it's the same, the discrimination towards people who are gay or lesbian. And especially the theme today is the role of family, isn't it?
Yes.
The role of family.
Yeah, what family, how family will process this.
I think that family has the most important role in it, because you see that as in some communities, I cannot say how it is in Ghanaian communities because it is, I don't have that insight. I must say it is really close in that sense. But when you look at communities like Moroccans or Turkish people, mostly 90% of the time when a child tells that he is gay or lesbian, his parents put him out of the house. And then the big problem starts.
Psychological.
Yes?
Psychological.
Problems. You see problematic sexual behavior. Mostly those people are becoming more victim of sexual abuse or other forms of abuse because there is no environment of protection. You know, the family is the environment of protection, and so, somebody in that position cannot have a normal sexual development. So the role of the family is so important, and I hope we could discuss that furthermore. But I will keep it for this now because I have to go. Yeah.
Just sum up the issue. I must add here that as a welfare organization, you know, Akasanoma, it should be clear that when it comes to this issue of sexual diversity and particularly the homo question, it's not a question or a matter of promoting it, but we see it as an issue that needs to be on the table to be discussed. We are also side of the view that for anybody who publicly, comes out as a homo, to be dealt with a level of scorn or harshness is for us a form of discrimination. That's just the standpoint of the organization. It should be very clear. So particularly, if we get to the discussion segment, it should be looked at from point of view of whether genetical and also whether it amounts to discrimination, so that it doesn't get rough and off the point. And so please, I think that should be clear to us when we get to the discussion level. So if, for the sake of Mr. Simon, who would have to go, if anybody has 1 or 2 questions for him, then you address that quickly before he leaves. Very, very short.
My short question to you is, why does gays feel threatened? Or why do they feel they are being discriminated against? I'm asking this because it looks as if people are infringing on your liberties as to your sexual orientation. Why do you feel threatened? Because if, no straight person comes out in the open to tell people, I'm straight. But the gay feels they are being discriminated against because they come out to say something about their sexual preference. Straight people also, maybe a man and a woman, they don't come out to say, so you feel they have their liberty to their sexual preferences. But being a gay, you feel you are being discriminated against, you are being marginalized, you are being slighted simply because of your orientation. Why don't you keep it to yourself, but you feel to come out and talk about it? Or, declare yourself in the open?
I think that that's a really good question. I think that everybody should make up for himself or herself if he or she wants to come out. But mostly, when you are growing up, sometimes people in the environment, they have an idea. There it begins, the discrimination or the threatening or the bullying. There it already begins. Sometimes you don't know it, but people arrive at the age that people expect you to have a girlfriend or starting a family or starting starting to marriage. That's really difficult, and you often see that people in that situation, they go into a marriage with a woman while they are not straight. And that will cause so much problems. After 20 years or 10 years, they separate, and then the woman and the children, that the father was gay all that time. And that causes that, I don't have to explain what kind of problems that can cause. And I think that as everybody here in this room has the feeling to be himself, to express himself, that need is not less with gay people. They also have the feeling to be themselves. And we live in a society which is heterosexual dominated, in the sense that gay people don't always recognize themselves in social structures and the way the society is built. So.
Yes, can I say something? When you said, why do gays feel threatened? Sometimes they don't even come out to say they are gays. I am a parent of a child who thinks he doesn't feel the way he feels. He is born in a wrong body. That is why I'm here. Sometimes the child don't even come out to say, I'm gay, I'm lesbian, or I'm a transgender. People will just see him and just call him names. They will just give him that name, that this is what you are, or this is who you are.
Based upon his dressing?
Please let me finish. Not based upon his dressing, he dresses just like the way he has been born. But some people think he should be this way because of the way he is. But gays, this thing has been in Ghana for a very, very long time. Even when I was very, very young, I saw in our house a tailor who was gay, and he had a wife, but he was sleeping with men.
Yeah.
Nobody spoke about it. My father was very, very rich, and we heard it, but we were not supposed to talk about it. We had another neighbor who was called Kwejo Besia. He was also gay. And as I'm talking now, in Ghana, there are so many people there who are gays, but we don't talk about it. Here in Holland, there are parents, Ghanaian parents, whose children are facing the same issue. And they can't even talk to their parents about it. Why? Because we have closed ourselves in a situation where we think, no, this, if you become gay or transgender or lesbian or bisexual, you are a devil. Who are we to judge? I'm here to support my own child who was born a boy, but he is transitioning to a girl. I will support my child till the day I die. And I know the Lord said we shouldn't judge anybody and we shouldn't hate anybody. We shouldn't also discriminate anyone. Because if I, the parent, sit here or stand somewhere and I see someone's child, and because he's gay, lesbian, transgender, I wouldn't even speak to that child. And I would tell my children not to speak to that child. Why? Because he's transgender. Or because he's gay. Is he not a human being? The Lord created us all to love. Just the word love. If we have that, I think there will be peace. So it's not for anyone to stand up or to open his or her mouth and just say, why do you have to come out? Why don't you keep your problem in your house? If it was that easy, I think they would have done that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't sit down for my child to commit suicide. I would never do that. I would stand for him.
Okay. Me talking, and then I think for his sake, but the question, I think anybody can take that. So when you are due, you can make it.
Actually, as our sister said, she's right. But I have one question for our brother. He has a question. I want to ask him, if right now somebody tells you that he's a gay, how do you feel? Because you asked that question.
If somebody,
Or how do you handle the person?
Well, you have the gentleman here, so how do you feel about them, basically? That's what he
They-
said.
I feel about that.
Yeah.
They said they
It is their choice, it is their right.
So you're okay with it?
You okay with it?
I don't have anything against them, provided it is not actually affecting me. You know, I don't say it affects me, but I feel comfortable with them. They are human beings. They have their right to live the way they want, and if they want to be that, that is their choice.
That is good.
I
That's the
don't
question
have
that you
anything
asked.
against
That's the
it. But
reason.
my concern is, why do straight people don't come out?
You're already out.
Yeah, and they still, when they come out, they are
Okay.
in.
May I, well, I'm not them, but may I say that straight people, I think maybe we see straight people and straight behaviors as normal. But when we see gay or lesbian behaviors, we see it as abnormal. Because I think why I'm saying it, that is that if with this lady you see us walking here and kissing, you won't, say anything.
No.
But if I were with him outside and we kiss, that is where most people will start
Can we
to.
keep that short? Because somebody asked a question.
Okay.
for Simon before
Okay.
he-
Yeah, I think, first of all, I would like to applaud our dear sister for her bravery. I admire the fact that you stand for your child. I respect that. Now, to, I believe your name was?
Simon.
Yeah. You said you were within the Dutch or the Amsterdam Council,
Yeah.
right? And then you deal
He
with...
is or he was.
He is.
He is now in
He is.
Amsterdam City Council.
City
The
Council.
council,
Is it
no
council?
longer with South
No, that was all.
Okay, clear. Now, and then you talked about the fact that you deal with a lot of issues like this, right? Now, my question to you is that when you say you deal with issues like this, what exactly do you do?
In a political sense.
Yep.
we speak and talk and make a policy about what should Amsterdam do with this subject. And for now, especially Green Left, my political party, and I have the feeling that most of the other political parties, we have three priorities. If you talk about emancipation of LGBT people. For me, it's important the emancipation of lesbian women, lesbian and transgenders, because they are vulnerable in their position. I think that in this policy there should be more attention to gay or lesbian or bisexual people with a non-Western background, like we, because we are also in a more vulnerable position, and also people who are refugees. So that is my the way how I go into the discussion and talking about these things. And then we talk about money, how much money we spend on this, so that these good projects of Akasanoma can be done. So I hope it's a big. So that is my priority.
Right. So your
emancipation.
Right.
So
okay.
I say vulnerable because we have a whole different position like most white Dutch people who are gay.
Right.
Sometimes I have to laugh when I talk with friends when they were a child. Their parents wanted them to be gay because it was fun and it was nice. And I think in my youth it was so different. You know, I was brought up to that I should go to hell, and you know I was in a male-dominated area, so it was so different. And if people who have transgender feelings don't have a parents like she has, you cannot imagine what it causes in the mind and in the spirit of that person. And 60% of people in such situations, they think about suicide. 60%. You know, it's so important to have a family that surrounds you and supports you. Because if you love your child, you don't want him dead, or you don't want him to be sick or unhappy or facing problems. So that is what we are talking about in the policy.
Okay.
And I have a question, please.
For me, is it for
you or for your position? Everybody.
We keep it short because
this
the
issue of
time.
My question is there anything we can do to help them change?
What change?
From sexual orientation, I mean, if you were born with it or you adopted it, because I have known the situations where people became gay because they became disappointed in their relationships. And the other story is some are born with it. And I also have a question for my dear sister out there. When you became pregnant with your son, who feels like he's a woman trapped in a man's body, were you expecting, before you became pregnant, and you discovered that he or she was a boy or a girl, were you expecting a daughter or a man to give birth? Every woman has that, must have that, or every parent.
Desire.
Did you have a desire to say that, okay, I desire to have a boy, or I desire to have a girl, but it came out a boy?
I wanted a boy, and he came a boy.
And now he feels like he's a
girl.
woman.
Yes.
So, since when did you discover
when he was young, when he was 4 years old.
I think.
But he was even scared to speak.
Yeah, let this gentleman come so then we can.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You had a question. What can you do to change us?
Because that is
exactly. I may tell you. My answer is you can do
nothing.
And if, okay, I may have a question to you again. What do you think you can do to change us?
What do you think?
I have a lot I can do to change gays.
Start.
Because I believe
One.
gay
One.
is number one, a spiritual issue and a moral issue based upon my experience.
Okay.
With
You gay yourself.
I was not gay because I have find your experience.
Yeah, because you said based on your
experience.
Let me improve the question. Have you ever been tempted to become
Gay,
gay?
yeah.
No, I have had
So,
experience.
what moral-
The experiences I've had.
Okay.
I also said spiritual,
Yeah.
where I have had the opportunity to be in a meeting, where spiritual meeting like conferences, gospel conferences, where we were able to deal with an issue of gay.
Hold on quickly so that
Yes,
gentlemen.
we were able to deal with an issue of gay. People who were gay, we prayed for them
They
and
change.
they changed. God healed them
Amen.
from that thing. So to me, I don't blame the individuals who claim they are gays, but I blame the act which has a spiritual cause. It is a demonic thing that affects people, affects their mental whatever, and it happens. It's your son. That thing entered into him when he was young. If
The point
the
is,
thing is there.
We have
I
been
think
I've read my hand for so long.
No, one moment, because I'm being careful, we don't degenerate into discussion before the last.
Yeah, let him
Otherwise,
finish
you
and
can
then-
also
Yes.
kind of, get ahead of whatever he has.
So
And so
before
let's
Please, let him finish. After that, we get into discussion, and then it's only discussion.
So,
Else,
yeah, please, yeah.
You can sit there.
Yeah, I can sit here, no problem.
Is that reinforcement?
Yes, you can go on.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I really very much appreciate the
And you raise your voice every year.
for this evening and the discussion too. You talked about coming out and then
excuse me,
you talked about the support from the family. But before that, I would like to ask the gentleman here a question, just a simple question. There are so many people who are on the street in Africa. They sleep without food. Yeah? Do you care about these people?
It is not a responsibility of any individual. It is for the government to provide for them.
Good boy.
It's not me.
Shooting yourself.
Do you care?
The UK is a personal question.
Providing for-
Sympathetically,
Yeah.
I care about them.
Yeah.
I care about their plight. Circumstances have driven them up to the streets.
Okay, so
Okay, let me-
lots of people, many people are on the street just because their families are neglecting them, because they are out, because they want to live the life they want to live. So the family says, yeah, no, we are denouncing you as we are denouncing you as a son or a daughter or what. So find a place where you can live. So people end up on the street. And that's why you see a lot of people are on the street in Africa. Yeah? They're suffering, they sleep hardly, but because of what we call African values, spiritual values, religious values, yeah? We tend to put our humanity in a sense that we have to think that we have to act exactly as the scriptures say. But even the scriptures say that the Old Testament existed, yeah? But then again, there was a New Testament when Jesus came. Many questions were asked. They asked him a lot of questions. And simply, he answered, I have no comment about those questions. But what my Father in heaven wants is love your neighbor, love one another. It was just a simple one law he left. No, he left out all these laws that were in the Old Testament, and he told those people that you love your neighbors and love yourself as you love yourself. So, many people like our sister here, she has a son. I think you have heard of a lady called Catalina Jennifer. Yeah? He has daughters or sons, yeah? But right now, he's out as he wants to live her life. Yeah? And what do you think her kids, when they look at her, what do you think they will, what comes to their mind? But I will put the blame to the family of this person that never supported this person to come out exactly as she wanted to be, yeah? Because she ended up having kids, and then after she said, no, enough is enough. I must be myself. So she's now
A woman.
I think you're married to someone. But if you look at gay people as a threat to your family or to your sons or to your marriage, I think my comment would be that maybe one of you is gay, but you don't know. Maybe one time you will come out, because maybe we have seen a lot of people, politicians, celebrities, who are hiding. But in actual they are gay, lesbians, and these people who are hiding tend to be very, very homophobic. They don't even want someone who is to come near to them because people will think. You understand? So if you think that these people are a threat to you, then someone, one of you might be.
Okay, my brother, listen to this. Every manufacturer has a manual. If you buy a radio, there is a manual how to operate it. If you buy a car, there is a manual on the car. You put petrol here, you put engine oil there, and you put water here. If you don't follow the manual, the manufacturer's manual, there will be destruction. We are created by God. There was a time he decided to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah because of this issue of homosexuality. He made man, and he said he feels sad, and he has even regretted creating man in his own image. That the manual he gave about people he has created, and they must be straight. But you or the gay defies God's manual, and they feel they made themselves, this is what they want. I don't have anything against them. But on the day of reckoning, every individual will appear before that creator and give account to his discipleship. Here on earth, I don't think anybody has the right to say anything about the gay. It is their choice, it is their right. They can do it, provided they don't infringe on the rights or liberties of another person. Fine. Nobody has anything against them. I cannot judge them. I'm not here to judge anybody. But what I want to say here emphatically is that there will be a day of reckoning. We are all going to appear before our Maker, and that his manual will come to play. The books will be open, yes. And that will be the medium of judgment.
Yes.
But
let's wait for that day.
You
have to come up with your topic now. Oh.
He's still on. Please let the comments and the questions wait. When he lands, and then
Because
we
he asked him the question.
He asked him the question.
But if you answer simply in a very straightforward way than the sermon, we can't take sermons here. So Moses, please, if you let him go on and then.
Moses, go ahead.
Yeah, we lived in Africa in a very, very violent community, yeah, whereby people will think that once you are out, that you are homosexual, then you can't do anything. You understand?
You are demon possessed.
Yeah, because they have names, like my sister said there, they have names, they have whatever. But we have seen prominent gay people who have been successful politically, socially, religiously. So very many people have been, take an example of the Apple owner. Yeah? He was in closet for a long time. But because there were people who started a cause to talk, to ask for not even asking, because we have our rights, but we are reminding you to respect those rights. Because we have the rights, yes, but we only reminding you that please respect these rights, because they are human rights too. So this person came out and said enough is enough. These people have done a good job. They have sacrificed their lives, their time. So it's my time to come out. Very many people, like in Africa, there are people who say, I'm not again buy any Apple item. Yeah, does it make sense? Because it's one of the best.
I'm personally against Mugabe and the Yaya men. So men of states who have decreed against homosexuals and gays. It's wrong. No human being has the right to determine how another individual should live. It is their prerogative. If they want to be homosexuals or gays, it is their right. So a head of state like Yaya Jammeh and Mugabe, what they are doing about gays, in my estimation, is wrong. Allow everybody to live the way he or she wants. But
thank you. Let's move.
Okay. Moses, can you quickly, some are anxious to know what is it like in Uganda, be a gay. Can you touch on that briefly? And then we can get into the discussion.
That's what he's telling us.
Okay.
Yeah. In Uganda, just like the gentleman thinks that homosexuality is a practice, homosexuality is not a practice. Homosexuality is a sexual orientation to someone. It's not a practice at all. And they have been saying that why should you come on the street to proclaim your rights? Or if you're homosexual, it doesn't matter, but don't come on the street to say I'm homosexual, but you have never seen any homosexual having having sex on the street. And people tend to think that every homosexual is having sex, you understand? Because that's what is coming to their mind. There are people who are homosexual, but they have never had sex, but they are homosexuals, and they can't deny that. So, kissing in public, in Uganda, kissing in public, those days you will never find someone kissing in public. Even our president said it in once a speech. He said, if he kissed his wife on a podium, maybe he would lose voice. Yeah, but right now it's normal for those people who call themselves straight to kiss in public. If same-sex couples come and kiss in public, it's becoming a problem to them, and they will be attacked in Uganda. Yeah? That's denying someone's rights. Someone's rights, because we all have a right to love, who we want to love. If you don't come to your house to ask you for a bed, you don't have to think what we are doing in our bedroom, because we may be there seated, You never know. Not every straight person is in a bedroom and is in sexual whatever. Same applies to these to the homosexuals.
Okay.
Because many times in Uganda, people have been, students have been sent out of school because they are homosexual. Once someone knows he's homosexual, they send him out of school. Once the family knows, they send disown the child. And once they know that, oh, this person has prospered in life, yeah, so they begin to like you. You understand?
Even though you are gay.
Even though you are gay, but you are prospered in life, they begin to like you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I think I will seek some little clarification because he made a statement that whatever you do behind closed doors, it's nobody's business.
Yeah.
For curiosity's sake, because some of us, it may be a misconception or wrong notion. We hear, within the gay community, somebody plays a man and another plays a woman. And yet we've just heard there's nothing like sex, necessarily when you are gay. So how do you explain that in a way for some of us to walk away from here, getting it very clear that if you have gay couples and one plays a woman, the other plays a man, it's not enough to assume that they make sex. Is my question clear?
I think it's clear that there are people who are gay or gays,
yes,
but they are not living that lifestyle.
Yes.
Okay, so you may not find a man, for instance, or a lady who is maybe by orientation gay or lesbian,
yeah,
but is not living with another partner of the same sex. Or in that sense, I think.
Yeah, but my question specifically is on gay couple. That's my question, not the one who is gay and has no relationship. So when they forever, they agree to be couples, what exactly is the motive, and if any, for some of us here, just to disabuse our minds?
I didn't catch your question. Your question is if you have two couples?
Two couples. I see some of us, I start by saying it may be a misconception. Yes, we feel same sex, but one plays a man, the other plays a woman. That's what some of us get to hear. I don't have the experience Ebo had. But that's my, if you can clear the air. No.
I think
no, I will. I want him to finish and then they will introduce themselves. So please, if you think, sorry?
I said, I don't think you're getting the question, or I don't think you're getting it right.
He's not getting the question. No, he just wants to say, for instance, two partners.
Yes.
Same sex gender. And let's say two men.
Yeah.
One is woman, one is man. When
why did they choose to?
What happens? Yeah.
What is woman?
No. Hold on.
Yeah.
Plainly said, he is saying something to the effect that one, if you have two men who are homosexuals and they're in a relationship, sexually, one person plays the role of a female. That's what he's asking.
Okay.
Yes. We hear that. I've not been inside there before. We hear that. So I said, clear the air. So that some of us will walk away probably more. Yes.
My answer to you would be that just kill that curiosity.
What?
Kill that curiosity, that thinking.
Yeah.
Just get it out. Just get it out of your mind.
Okay,
because
we'll do it.
These are two loving couples.
Okay.
It doesn't matter for you to ask
what is
the spoon and where is the fork, because they are both meant to eating.
Okay, so we should be left to guessing. It doesn't matter. It's okay. I'm sorry, please.
Let me say this, please.
Please, me.
in the relationship of homosexuals. One person sleeps with the other through the anus, and the other party also sleeps with the other party through the anus.
You heard it or you saw it? You saw it or you heard it?
I've seen it on pornographic films.
You Easy, let's control, let's have.
So at the judgment day, who will go to hell?
We have to change our taste. We change it, so just and short interview, we change, please, we change it. Lord, the camera, I just saw the what is it? Oh, secretary, okay, yes. Okay, and a member of the Uganda case on the move. Okay, well that's enough for now. Maybe we get our brother here would want to take a French leave, and so he's supposed to stay till the end, but he's just at the call, he has to go. So he wants to ask a question before he goes. I don't know who is going to direct that question to, or make comments also.
To the first speaker.
Julius.
Yes, we are here concerning discrimination, but I was listening to you very carefully that you don't want to be discriminated, but you were also discriminating on touching the subject of Christianity, saying that it was the people that brought Christianity that has brought hatred against gay. And we talk about the culture in Africa. Thank God Christianity have changed a lot in Africa. I haven't been to Uganda before, but in Ghana, those days, gays were killed when Christianity wasn't there. Some were outcast and were also discommunicated. So if you go to the northern part of Ghana today, we have a place called Witch Camp, run by Christians. I am a strong believer with the Bible. The Bible says that we should love one another. Even like my brother there said about Sodom and Gomorrah. If God had got some people to stand, God wasn't going to destroy the city. God is love. That is why we preach about the love of God. So in a gathering like this, I love you, not other way, but I love you as a person, and we are instructed to love each and every one. Because the Bible says, Paul said, I went under the law to go in for those who were under the law. So if I want to talk to you, to know you, to understand you, I have to come into the gay section to know who you are and to know what is going on, to understand your mind before I can talk. But I can't just preach and discriminate whilst I don't understand you. That is where I just want to add that whilst we are talking about discriminating, we shouldn't rather also discriminate other side. But make your point so that it will be clear. Because I'm not here to discriminate you, but I'm here to understand you this evening and to know how to address. And also, even if I have any help, like our sister said, some of these things need counseling. You might think it is not important. Maybe the mother herself is okay supporting the child, but emotionally, you don't know maybe what the mother herself is going through. Do you understand my point? Maybe the mother wouldn't like to support the son become who he's become, but she has no choice than to support the son. So it is about something that it deals with understanding and commitment. That is why I am waiting to say that don't bring Christianity, that is Christianity. No, the Bible, the gay thing that we are talking is in. We can't hide it. It has happened.
I was speaking as a devil's advocate. I was brought up a Christian myself. I'm a very radical Christian.
Yes.
This brother is trying to say that even though you do not agree which is sexual orientation, must we discriminate them? Okay? And please don't manipulate what he said by turning the tables against him.
No, I'm not telling that. I also made a point of that. I agree
You
with
mentioned
you.
that Christianity, which is true, whenever we go to church, okay, we preach against or we say things regarding homosexuality that shapes perceptions, okay, against homosexuals. So even though you as an individual who is a pastor
liberal-minded,
to love people, even though they are gay or not, you do say things that can be interpreted or misinterpreted or understood to mean that they should discriminate against homosexuals. And I believe that that was what the brother was trying to say, that religion has played a great role to shape this kind of...
And that is what I also started by saying that...
So he's not being discriminating.
No, but that is also what I'm trying to tell you, that I haven't been to Uganda, but every Ghanaian here...
Is that also in Ghana?
Yeah.
Homosexuals
were killed, they were discommunicated.
No,
some were killed. No. Then maybe you don't know. You may ask.
Sorry.
Many countries.
All due respect, that at the end of the day, what you know, what I know, what anybody else here knows may not be what you know.
Yes,
you get my point? So since you were not there 300 years ago, let's not tackle it now. I just want to address Julius. You made a great presentation. However, there were too many cracks in it. And when Moses, was it your name, also spoke, he also spoke with so many cracks in it. At the end of the day, you don't have to tell me that because Mr. Y or Mr. C is an affluent person or whatever. You see, that the examples you're giving, as in where you're throwing light onto, takes away the essence of us being tolerant and us being accepting to whatever lifestyle anybody wants to choose. You get my point? So if you're making presentations or bringing out things, take away the Shaka Zulu thing. Take it up. No, let me land. I'm not finished. Take it away, because even if, and I use the word if, even if he is or was, that is not important now. In this time and place where we are now, if we have to embrace lifestyles and say we want to be tolerant to anybody and everybody, preach about love, where our gentleman here maybe is coming from. If you love one another, you would not judge one another. And that's where my dear sister also made a very great point there. We don't have to judge you, neither do you have to judge me for whatever lifestyle we choose to live. But we have to respect the differences we have. You get my point?
Yeah, I get it.
Thank you.
The reason why, because this is a presentation I usually give, because I live by the examples. Usually, if you bring in examples, because most of our brothers on the continent believe that homosexuality is an importation from the West, which is totally rubbish. Because if I give you examples of people, and those are the chosen, those are even small portion of what existed before. We had even the ancient Greeks. We had all those civilizations. They were homosexual. Where the tables changed is when colonialism popped in. They had to blind your eyes so that... Hold on.
No, you said yours, so I'm
they had to hoodwink you to take what you have. Close your eyes. When you open them, your land is taken. How did they have to do that? By religion. They sent the flag, followed the cross. If you know that statement, meaning religion came first, and colonialism followed. They formed already soaked hearts that were softened.
But Julius, sorry, I have to cut you here briefly, just briefly. Julius, I hear that. We, as in those of us in here, we are here to understand ways that we do which makes you feel discriminated upon.
But you cannot understand
No.
before you know what existed. You don't know what existed before, because the point is, people will jump and judge what I've had in my.
I think for once this evening, the feeling I have is clear that people keep on coming back to say that it's not anybody's responsibility to judge.
Exactly. That's the bottom line. That's what it is.
For me, it's a very strong message to you that out there, it could be the view that people discriminate. But honestly, at our workshop last time, we made it very clear that this particular subject was almost non-discussable, subject in the Ghanaian community some few years back. Okay, but now you could comfortably discuss this. That I don't think there's any harsh, standpoint today. So that should give you a clear message that it is really an issue that we feel very, very comfortable with to discuss at whatever level, even if we touch on academics. It should be clear. So let's get on the pole,
exactly.
not debate in a kind of give and take. So please, I think you said so much. Let me give Jobedi the floor. I'm coming, please. We hear others who have not spoken because we don't have enough tapes, and so let's take from everybody. If it's still enough, we come back to. So but we must keep our need, please. Can we keep our questions very, very short and then the answers to
your brave attitude coming out to talk like this. I don't think my dear brother is being a little bit harsh, saying that you have cracks in. Homosexuality is a complex something. The pastor just said in Ghana they were beating up. It's not true. That's not true. Where I appreciate what you say is that the culture, of course. I
will contest that.
Let me
what he said. Robert said.
That's what he means.
He said you never saw it. Doesn't mean it's not true.
No,
please.
because we all
let's watch the language.
Please, let me just land.
You can't be everywhere in Ghana.
No, listen. When you talk about homosexuality, now we're talking about family. Let us leave religion aside.
It's
Pastor or Allah or whatever it is. Don't let us tackle a situation with religion, because religion is a source of all sort of problems. What I'm going to say is that I'll take my family for example. I think it is a culture thing because we all come from cultural backgrounds. That's why he tackled culture. Because I take my two boys for example. If my boy comes home one day with another boy with a blonde hair and tells me, Papa, I'm a gay, do you think that's what you mean? How will I accept it?
Yes, what if?
That's why I say that I congratulate you. You said from the beginning you're not promoting, so I congratulate you for making this homosexuality an awareness.
Yes.
It is a topic that is active at schools in Holland, and I can tell you in schools the students accept it. Yes. My children accept homosexuals because they are being taught, but we the elderly people, we come from a culture where we have been taught that a man and a woman is a normal thing. So honestly, right now that I'm sitting here, even though I'm open-minded, I don't think I would laugh when my son comes home to tell me this is my boyfriend. So I would like to have a feeling. That's why I'm here for this, my dear brothers, to give me some awareness so that I can accept my son.
That is if one day your son.
I hope not, but if if something like this happens.
How to rationalize it, and then
that is it, and I think I'm getting to, I'm understanding what they are feeling, I'm feeling it, and I'm getting there. So please, let us
my brother, once you are parent and you see your son growing up, you as a parent, you are the first person to see your kid, that this kid is someone else.
But sometimes they
Like my
surprise
sister
you.
said,
Let me tell you something. Sometimes,
They
because
surprise you.
he is your child, and this is how you gave birth to, or whoever he is, that is what you have pictured in your eyes. I tell you, brother, you will see it, but you will refuse to see it. I refuse to see
In
that
denial.
my son was somebody else.
but you saw signs.
Look, people were saying that he was different. I didn't see him different. I told him, the first day he told me, I said, it's a face. So just let's wait and see, because I'm not sure the Lord will create him to be something, somebody else.
It wasn't a surprise. And these people
Were saying it, yeah.
If you had watched your son very carefully,
I would have,
You
but
would have
that's what I'm
seen
saying, I refused.
this is what I'm
Yeah.
telling my brother here. What if you want to know, or if you want to accept, really to accept your son, one day if he comes to you, because you will already have that feeling that this son of mine
It's different.
is different.
So my question is, if your son is cooking a lot, which in my culture is a woman's culture, is it cooking a lot?
Chef.
Yeah.
That's not science.
that's not a science.
Everyone cooks.
No, right now men are cooks.
The question here is, what why do gays consider suicide?
Because they are
Because you don't accept them.
Why do they consider
It's
suicide?
because they are not
accept
accepted.
They are
It's because
they are not accepted.
yeah, their own parents don't accept them. Their own
So
their
for
own
them, they consider
community.
suicide
Yes.
as an antidote.
Yes, look.
You like to watch it on the
I'm coming, it's not a matter of, I think, I'm coming, one moment. I want us to agree here that we shouldn't deviate, and I respect Joe's point that we should take the Bible, the religion aspect, because if we go there, we will debate forever. So, no, I'm just making that appeal for the sake of this thing. We are talking about the family and what if, exactly what is you. One day, either your son, your brother, your daughter comes out and says this. How will you process it? How will you go in the way that is what
The question is what if?
Yes.
What if, by who, in which society, and when? Now, when almost, let me say, more than 60% of the society people, they are all religious. And we want to put religion aside.
No.
This issue is being
If
influenced more religiously.
we are not looking at it from a religious I'm coming.
Right.
The point is, when next we come, we may look at it from the point of view
Yeah,
of
but then you have to
religion.
make it.
So I have made it, this whole thing is about the family, what if, and it is how you process it. Don't let's get out of, the context we are gathered here.
You know, in his
Otherwise,
presentation,
yes.
he made mention of all these things we are talking about. He spoke about religion, he spoke about
He made a point, but we cannot dwell on it. If we want to dwell on it, it's just going to take a whole
concerns with it. So
In this gathering, the first question that came up is, why come out to confess or proclaim you are a gay?
Yes.
Because he didn't understand.
Yes.
But the thing is, like, you are doing something, it is of your own choice,
Yes.
but you know,
You are
sitting
guilty.
here, that within the society you live, they don't want to see it, they don't want to know it. And you cannot keep it all the time with you. Know that one day it will come out. And you are saying that the day it
there
comes
is
out, you
also
are
what we
doomed.
call human rights, and in the context of human rights, the right you have, every other person has a right.
Sitting somewhere in
And
the
so,
office, the
please,
people around
please,
you.
let's be serious.
No.
Let's be serious. Please, let's be serious on this.
I believe we came here to address the problem. Homosexuality.
It's not a problem.
It's
an
not a
issue.
problem.
It's not a
an
problem.
issue to
It's
me.
not a
We can
problem.
address it. And I would say, as a by experience, one more time, I would say that
Experience again.
this thing is a problem to me. And
Okay.
people need help. They need help. And I'll leave my telephone number there. And you need help.
But you are not going.
Call
You are
me,
not going
get help.
anywhere yet.
Can I
Because we will
ask-
notice your
Just short question.
Stay there. Don't walk away.
If I come to you
Please,
and
don't
tell you that
walk
I want
away
to be
that
one,
way, please.
I want to be one, but please,
You can't
you see me
make that point
as a
here.
man, yeah? I have a manly voice.
No,
please, you see me as a man, you know me for a while, I have a manly voice, I do everything like a man. But I come to tell you that I'm gay because I don't have a penis. How can you help me? I have a vagina.
No, listen.
No.
The thing has a root cause.
Root cause of me having a vagina when any other things about me is a man.
Please, let's take it easy.
Is it spiritual?
If you are dealing with something like that, please. You go
one moment. Ibo, can you give us some space? One moment. A member of the, this want to make a contribution, then you can, yes.
Yeah, I would try to connect these 2 points, where you talked about suicide. And where you talked about coming out and talking about it. If you connect that two, if you don't come out and talk about what you feel inside, it will lead you to suicide. Like you're feeling lonely, you're feeling depressed, and the moment you come out, you will feel at least relieved. You will feel so okay. But if you don't, that's when someone will commit suicide, and they say gay people do this because, but there is a reason to that suicide, and that's not accepting yourself to come out.
Okay. Well, before I didn't accept gay people,
but now you accept.
No, I have to. I tell myself, do your best to accept. Like they are saying, do not judge.
Do not.
Because, excuse me to say, if I were in Africa, I don't think I would have had a chance. But I've been in Holland, where I watch TVs late in the night, and there's these programs about people not liking themselves. For example, someone is born a woman, but if you are born a woman and your testosterone or something, testosterone is too high, everything about you are born a woman, excuse me to say, with a vagina, but because this testosterone is too high, you have a manly voice, you talk like a voice, you get muscles like a man, everything except that down there is otherwise.
So that's why they say LGBTI, because they are like lesbian, gays, bisexuals, transgenders, and intersexuals. You may be born with two sexual organs. Yeah, you have boobs and then you have a link with yourself.
And I wouldn't understand such person.
Identify yourself. In Africa, they will say that this is unnatural. Maybe you have some juju on you, and so
but there are people
they
born
are bringing awareness about
it. So there are people born like that, and I didn't know that. So I think, if I come across lesbians, I say, oh, that is no problem. They only make use of molded sticks or something. So at the end of the day, a man will come to them or something. But for men, I have problem with men, and when I hear gay men, I say, oh, this is disgusting. Why are they allowed to continue doing that? Why? And I tell you honestly, sometimes pass if someone say, hey, let's go and beat this man because he's gay, I will easily join him.
Today you won't do it. Thank God it's not going to happen. Can we keep the listing short for the sake of the tapes? We don't have long tapes. Can we keep the inputs short and the response also? Have you signed it?
I'm getting the question. What bothers me is that
please excuse me. Please, can we keep it short?
Yeah, okay. Well, I would like to address a few points. Well, someone, I think you had a problem with, his reference to Shaka Zulu and the rest. I think the point he was trying to make is that some Africans think that, this gay and lesbian thing was brought by the Europeans. And he was using that to illustrate that it existed before the Europeans.
I think I got that. I got that.
And I think me also was trying to,
There are two names here.
Yeah, okay. A lot of them. That why do people feel, their rights are being infringed upon? I think if you are not, well versed in, that circles, you won't see it. Like, walking around with a girl, you can kiss the girl all over the place. No one has a problem with it. But if gay couple or lesbian couple are even walking hand in hand on the street, yeah, you see people, what is that? What is that? And that is that is that. But you made a point which I think has to be clarified. You said that you don't have problems with them, but if they are not infringing on your rights, and I don't know how gay people can infringe on your rights or liberties, apart from maybe trying to rape you.
No, they can't.
And I don't think, well, really, being gay or heterosexual is a crime. For that, it is not something for gays alone, you see. So, I'm not clear what can, constitute an infringement on your rights from the gay people.
Please, for the mere fact that this group are sitting here today shows that, I mean, logically, nobody has any abhorrence to their preferences. Okay?
Otherwise, you allow them to walk through the door.
Not necessarily so. In maybe Zimbabwe or Gambia, the government will not even allow you to sit at a round table like this. But for the opportunity like this, where freely and openly people are discussing this issue, it's a sign that society don't have anything against your preferences.
Yes,
is that right?
But me, if
so
I have to address this,
why you consider suicide as an option? If you feel you are doing right, because I'm an ex-police detective, and we see suicide as people who are,
desperate,
lost hope in themselves, and the only option left for them was to commit suicide. So if you feel your sexual preference is the best for you, and we sitting here, nobody is going to pull a cudgel or a knife on you. You have the right. Why do you consider?
They're not talking about themselves here, so
No,
let's clarify that.
I mean,
Let's clarify that. No, but what they're saying in relation to
what if you find yourself in an environment that is so harsh because you come out as a gay, and the kind of reaction you get, even to the extent that you may not be able to walk the streets without being, possibly attacked or whatever, or
thrown out of the house.
Mr. Lamte, I have a question for them.
So that's the situation where you feel even who you are, you believe in you, this is what I am, and others have problem accepting that you are, and they react, he made mention of even homosexuals who try to seek employment, and it's a problem being accepted. Okay, those are the issues. And when you are faced with enormous challenges of the sort and you are not strong enough, you don't get cancellation. The tendency is to go that way. If you can't deal with the process, that's where the question of suicide and the rest comes in. So I think it's a
thinking about a South African country where albinos walk in the streets and their parts are being taken off for rituals.
Yes, okay.
Even parents.
Well, we're not talking about albinos today. Let's just say that
I actually came with a short film, done for Akasanoma on this subject. We watched it at the last workshop. I'm sure some of you here might have not seen it, and
we would rather
what it is like in really the typical Ghanaian home. Then I think things are changing. We sit in Europe and probably we are very comfortable, but this was captured in a drama form to kind of get the view of what it is like for some parents, even if they wake up to that reality of their child coming out to say, I have a gay partner or whatever. So I think we can watch that briefly. It's not so long, very short thing, and then we come back probably because very soon the cameras are not to capture that because we have it on tape, so they can stop, they can press the camera, and then we watch that quickly. We come back to continue with. I
wanted to know from you how your parents or your relatives, relate to you, their actions before you travel abroad. Do they accept you in your orientation or your situation, or were you rejected?
No, for my mother accepting the way I am.
Your mother accepted it as well?
To me, my family was okay.
Okay.
But because of the manipulation from the community, these community leaders and the church leaders, then they wanted to change their minds, their way of thinking to turn against me. So it's complicated.
Okay.
Yeah, because the family is okay, but then there comes the community leaders and the religious leaders claiming their religious values and African values.
I'm sure we just watched that drama sketch, and it's really not what I expect, that we can deny the fact that these things really exist.
Yes.
Even here, we still have some homes that you will see this kind of reactions.
Yes.
Talk less of what will happen back in Ghana, because here we might sort of appear to be enlightened because we've been exposed to, more awareness about these things. So it's real. That's how, in many cases, still, I believe, you easily see these kind of reactions when this question of the family member comes out to say, and it's the essence of this kind of sessions to let us get a clearer picture of what some are going through with their inner self. And when we walk away from here, it's like, what do we capture and take back for impact on the larger society? So that we should bear in mind that we have something to take away from here after the session is finished. Can we have your comment or a question?
It's a brief question though. The organization you guys represent is called UGMO, right? UGMO.
Yes.
Okay, and it says Uganda, okay, on the move. I think my question, what will help me a little bit, is why are you on the move? Why are you
okay, how did you come by the name? To make it very simple, what was going on when you came out with the name of the organization? Yes.
Yeah, first of all, as you hear the organization name, Uganda Game Move, we as the people that started the organization, we were running away from community, country, or leaders. So we came here. When we reached here, we found out that we are not the only people that are running away. So many people are moving out of the country.
Also
so
Ugandans.
we tried to make
Ugandans too, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uganda will move. Because many people are moving out of the
Can we have idea of the size of the group? How big?
We have like 56 registered members, but we are doing good that whenever we have our events organized, like the 28th of November,
that's essential. Some of us will be there.
Yeah, we get a number of Ugandans or Africans or even people who come from different other countries, Denmark, African continent, people from here, they come. Why? Because, first of all, they want to learn.
They want to do what?
They want to learn.
Learn, okay.
To learn, to accept.
Okay.
Secondly, they are becoming right now friendly. When we came here, Ugandans were very homophobic right here.
Yeah, okay.
So when we kept on inviting them, involving them in our activities, they changed
to share your
minds.
stories with them, yeah.
So right now, they help us prepare the dishes. You can imagine it.
Okay.
So they have no problem. So they are sending a good message to their families back in Uganda that, oh, what you think is not what these people are. They are maybe more intelligent than what you think.
Okay, I'm sure by now, I'm coming. By now, well, I'll give you the chance brief. By now, you should have realized it's not peculiar thing to Uganda. gay issue and whatever got you out may not be peculiar. It's not only about Uganda. You must have met gays from other African countries. Have you considered moving beyond Ugandan gays to African gays?
Yes, we have, but we have not thought about changing the name. But obviously, we have people from Nigeria, people from Jamaica. We have some Ghanaians who are there.
Next time, bring them.
I hope you see them.
They are welcome. Just let them know they are welcome, just like you are here. You are not here because you are Ugandans and we accept you. We are ready. We open Ghanaians.
We are not limited. We are not limited. And there is one thing I noticed about the Ghanaian people. Yeah? They say we have no problem about the homosexuals.
Yes.
But in actual sense, at the end, someone said, if they don't make any problem,
so they put conditions on
that. Yeah, that's not consenting. And that's why when maybe they come here for their procedures, claiming to be discriminated in Ghana. This is why the Dutch government may not believe them because they say, the Ghanaians are okay with it. But in actual sense, they are not okay.
Please. My question.
I'm sorry.
Lynched.
No, but we have just been told it's not true. They are killing gays here. But now he's telling you gay people were lynched, even Accra. So let's hold on that. Joe, what's yours?
Let's focus with regards to what we just watched, the culture. My question is, just for our dear lady also, we have a culture of when a guy you're growing up, then you think you're going to marry, to have children. You see, the lady was concerned about children. With gays, how do you feel about children? Does it vanish in your, because we have, it's like a, how do you say that? It's like you grow up focusing that you've got to marry and have kids because you want your name to go on. You know, it's a natural thing. But where is, no, I want to ask you, where does this feeling ceases in the gay mentality?
You can call it gay culture, and the mentality is really negative connotation.
I withdraw my mentality. What can I call it?
It's a culture. You can just for lack of the right language.
Where do you see having a feel of having children?
Don't you? Yes.
No,
please let them.
We have asked questions.
Let them answer, please.
Yeah, the issue is that if you are not interested or you don't have feelings to women, then how can you have sex with women if you don't have feelings?
So then you understand, if I'm a father and my child comes to me with a gay man, and then I have a mentality, I have an attitude, I have a mind of my child is going to have children and I'm going to have grandchildren. So that feeling creates some tension. You see, that feeling creates, I want to ask, does that mean that, look, we come here in a culture where I've heard, in Ghana I haven't heard it, but here when I came, I heard lots of white people say, I don't want to have children. That is something to me, that was, I don't want to have children.
But still there are a lot of gay people here who have children.
Exactly.
I'm saying
children from your own.
I'm saying, have you ever seen someone who is straight and he has never had kids?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So the same thing applies.
That's what I said.
If gay people want to have kids, they know how to have kids.
Yes.
They know how to have kids. You don't have to interfere in the process of having kids. It doesn't matter where the kids come from, but they love them as their own kids.
So you can have kids
As
outside
straight
the
people.
relationship.
Surrogate parenting is also
Adopting.
Not
even adopting, you are a child.
It doesn't matter how you have a kid. We always have to have kids. We always have kids.
I think his direct question to the men on the panel here is, do you have any urge to want to have kids? And that is more like a direct question to you guys.
Do you have any
Urge to have kids? Do you want to have your own kids someday? Yes, no. I mean, simple. Nothing wrong with whether you have, whether you don't have. But maybe for some of us, it's a way to find out whether or not you want to have kids.
Can we do it one by one?
Yeah.
You take it and we follow Julius and
Okay, for me, I would love to have my own
Lovely,
child.
lovely. Okay.
And you've planned your own way of how you have that child.
Lovely.
My own. My own
Outside your
Yeah.
relationship with a guy. So you can have a child, the guy can have a child. So you're
Don't
gonna have a
let's
child.
go.
He said to you, don't worry about how they do it.
So Julius, what's your case?
Yeah, my stand on this is one day I wish also to have kid, but I know how to have that kid. There is this the system of surrogate.
Yes.
It exists. There are women who are willing to carry these babies.
Yes, we all know.
That's true, we understand.
And I'm sorry, I'm a bit confused.
The secretary.
Apart from the name, I'm wondering because.
I'm none.
Sorry?
I don't describe myself. I don't have any gender.
Okay, it's exactly what.
Okay. So you don't want to have kids?
No, let's get that. I'm really particular about that. What does she? Because I want whether to refer her to be she or him. That's what I'm wondering. Now she says she has no particular sex.
Yeah.
Right? You don't describe yourself as what was your
I
answer?
don't have any gender.
Any gender, that's the
I don't
language.
have labels.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm none.
Wow.
None, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would love to have kids.
Lovely. That's good.
And Moses?
Yeah, to me, like you're my brother, if you're my brother, if I can't have a kid on my own, and you're my brother, you have a kid, he's my kid. So I cannot say, this is not my kid, I love my own. If I cannot have a kid, then
The question is, will you
the question. If I can?
Yes. And which we want to believe you can, except you tell us you cannot, which is another issue.
Correct.
So if you can, would you love to have one of your own, even if your brother's child is your child?
Yeah.
I cannot have a kid.
Okay, that's understandable.
Clear. No questions about that. So I think it's quite straight. Ni, you were pressing to also
I would
come
love,
in.
but I cannot.
Yes, you come in. Can you save our time, please? Come in. You want to?
Yeah, I'm coming here.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
Okay, go on.
Brief, because we
All I
can
wanted
see.
to know from you is, when you live in a society and you feel you are being marginalized, you are being discriminated against, your reaction is you don't feel comfortable there, then you have to move out to another country where you are accepted. So you came to Netherlands where you think gayism or lesbianism is accepted, much more in your country, Uganda. Do you feel comfortable here? Do you feel discriminated against here? And above all, or finally, do you feel you belong to this society without what is happening to you in your native Uganda?
It's a question.
Follow you.
Okay. First of all, I would say that it's much more safer for me to live in the Netherlands than the life I lived in Uganda. The reason being, my mother passed away immediately when I left. But I never came out to my mother. My father died long time. No one knew that I was this. But my mother had it in rumors. And she confronted me about this. But I wouldn't tell her because the family I was raised into was a staunch Catholic family with brothers and sisters. You know the nunnery brothers and sisters? So I couldn't, but she had these things in rumors. And she died of heart attack. But my sisters and brothers put the blame on me. They say I killed my mom. Because she found out that I am who I am. Because she suspected. But I never told her. So, to answer you, I would say that
You are happy here.
I'm very happy here. The Dutch country has given me what my country had taken from me.
Thank you very much.
I'm protected by the country.
We are happy for you. Can you ask your question?
No, mine is not a question. He asked me a question earlier.
He asked you a question. You can address that later because what we're going to do now, because of time, we get the last question. We're going to go around. Last statements is not going to be a question again to generate, discussion. So he will ask his question. Are you going to answer him or you are going to ask a question so that I'll know what's on your mind and whether we can accommodate it or we go around, you can include it in your statement. If it's an answer, then it's better.
To save time, my answer, he asked me a straight question, I'm going to give him a straight answer.
Yeah.
Your question was, what is my border if I come across two men?
I know, what bothers you?
Yeah, that was the question.
If two men are kissing.
Yeah. It sits here that there are two men, they are not, it is not for me natural. And I think that they will be going to bed and they will be having sex, and two men, excuse me to say, there is no vagina, so naturally they will go to the anus. And I think anus is something...
This evening you've heard that it's not all same-sex relationship that they have sex. So are you clear in their mind?
That is not all what?
Same-sex relationship that there is sex involved. He just
Not,
said that.
not everyone is having sex. Because that's
So
the
the
way
issue about anus or no anus, then of course it's an imagination. So please, can we have your question? It's okay, neatly out. I'm sorry.
It's 50-50.
Well, we don't enter there and come out, so we don't know. Okay.
I mean, what we have been hearing from the bulletin is that the government has toned down a bit. Am I right? Has toned down a bit about its action in gay lesbian relationship. Is that true?
No.
Never.
No, it's not.
It's not true.
No.
They are from Uganda, or is it about Uganda
Yeah,
or
The point is, President Museveni, who is currently the president of Uganda, is a treaty man.
He's been there for a long time.
Long time, yeah.
Yeah, so
for about
it's
12
not,
years.
but so he's not president, he's our
So,
president.
his tactic here was to attract the international attention. So he brought this law, the draconian anti-homosexuality law of 2014, brought it and signed it and took it back and it was repealed. But it doesn't mean that there is no law that punishes us. Already I told you, the British, during their colonial days, they left us a Penal Code Act of 1960, which was enshrined in the current Uganda constitution to include punishment of all people. Because before it was punishing only men who are involved in acts of homosexuality. But when it was enshrined and improved in the constitution, it included even women who are involved in that. So the situation is not changed.
We have just, I think, about 10 minutes to round up quickly. So we take your statements. Please, strictly no questions. Okay. Comments? What this evening has meant to you? I think basically, if we can do that quickly round, and we should be done within 10 minutes. Okay. To be fine for all of us.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, please.
Well, I think we've spoken a lot, and we have to be clear about certain things. I know some of us say that, oh, we don't have problems with gay people as long as they don't infringe on my right or whatever. I don't see how any gay person will infringe on your rights. And so we have to come clear. If we don't have problems, and there are no infringement of rights.
So, in other words, if we decide to accept them, we should accept them unconditionally.
Unconditionally. And
treat
not,
them to have
and
equal
not
rights
start,
as everybody.
Yes, and not start imagining that.
Don't put strings on it.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Albert?
Yes. I think for me personally, this experience has been an eye-opener in more ways than one. At the end of the day, it gives me an insight as to, you know, what life is like being gay in Uganda. One other aspect is the fact that we as Africans, we have this tabooish way of looking at gay people. Personally, if I have to talk for myself, like I said, I don't have any objections to what people choose to do because I don't want to judge anybody. Then again, I also have to raise the flag of the LGBT, as in it being an organization that is also literally not only supporting your cause, but also trying to, in a way, enforce that onto the African continent. And I say that with the view of how our donors, as in the donors that donate to the governments across Africa, take money coming from the LGBT, but then again don't really want to accept or recognize the lifestyle that people of that that template live. So if we want to address some of these things, there are so many ways to look at it. We should understand that, one, we don't need to judge. We are all humans, bottom line. Now, what one person chooses over the other should not be a matter for you and I to sit down and talk about. But I feel that if we love ourselves as being who we are, we will not have to go down this path of discriminating against each other. So bottom line is LGBT, I feel, my personal opinion, are not doing what they should do because I feel that they are pushing the agenda too hard. And I think that isn't what I would stand behind. But for the rest, I don't have a problem.
Well said. And Joe, please, quickly, brief.
If you say brief, then I forget what I'm going to say.
Sorry.
What happens, I completely support my brother's words of pushing toward on Africa. Personally, I feel if the more you put more emphasis on particular topic like gay and things, you awaken people. I from Ghana, I went to school with gays. They are successful people. We didn't have any problem growing together. Yeah, so I think that the more you start pushing the ideology into the lifestyle of the people, accept gays, accept that, then you come up with people coming up with a lot of problems. I'm just wondering that the way we're pushing things, it's for me, I think it's more than gay, because you have a situation one day where you have mothers of students having a meeting at school, and you will find one man or two men between them, and then they have to introduce themselves as the mother of a child in school. It is a long thing, and I think we need more homework. It's not going to be easy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think if society will have to accept same-sex marriage or gay or lesbianism or so, there is more that should be made open.
Awareness, yeah.
Awareness. Whereas we have to know more of them to be able to understand them. An example is someone who has been born completely woman. He has lived as a child, as a girl, grow to be a woman, only for her best friend to know that, excuse me to say, she has a penis. And it is natural, not artificial. So if we don't have that sitting here, because people have been born with 2 heads, some people have been born with 6 fingers, other people have been born with other things attached to their bodies, some people with 3 legs, they have to cut off. So these are all natural. We will ask ourselves, if it is, excuse me to say, we don't want us to go there, but God comes in here. It is the same God who created these people with 6 legs or 2 heads or 6 fingers. It's the same God.
Who made them who they are.
Yeah, who made them who they are. Now, to say that we are waiting till we are infringed, our rights are infringed by gay before we act, excuse me to say, if someone has been blackened, we say he's a thief. Okay. So we say, oh, I know he's a thief, but me, I'm not judging until the person comes to thief. I want to say thief you. I want to say that if there are some people within the society, for example, the woman who says, I want a grandchild. If suddenly, if the son comes to her and say, I'm gay, then there is a threat. She's not going to have the grandchildren again. So indirectly, she feels attacked. Indirectly, she feels attacked.
Well, I
so
think quickly without prolonging it, she said
talk.
that because she's not aware the son could
Yeah,
have so that's done. This is what awareness can bring. And next time, say sessions, you don't come alone, bring somebody else. Then we all and then we extend the information. Rob?
My comments will be short. I appreciate
for the sake of the camera, yes, so that
I appreciated the speeches by the panel, and a bit of awareness have been raised in me about this issue. But I hope, against all my belief systems, that you truly believe that you are born gay, because finally, life is not only, or at least in my opinion, I don't believe life is only this.
what we live here,
Okay.
beyond that.
There is something beyond it, I believe. And so if you truly believe, like how I believe that I am heterosexual, okay, and I'm responsible for whatever I do with this lifestyle that I have inborn in me, then go ahead. And for me, I don't discriminate, I don't judge, but I hope that you truly make the decision to become what you truly are, and not because we want to have a status to live in Holland or to live.
That's fine. Me,
Well,
we don't have so much tape, so still I will entreat everybody
Out
who
of
make it
curiosity, I was on
short.
the net the other day and I saw 2 women making love. Only I know of a hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodites are people with both sexes. But here was these 2 women making love, and to my chagrin, they were having pennies, natural. And they were making love through the anus. So I was asking myself, where do they immigrate from? You know, out of curiosity, I was asking myself, do they immigrate through their anus or through their penis? They are women with breasts. I don't know. You see, this makes me adapt go on the net to fish out.
To research.
Yeah, to research after how these things are possible and how comfortable they are.
They are from the old generation. Please ask me.
So I don't know whether you can enlighten me as to
But we are
rounding up. No questions. No questions.
Thank you.
I think for the panel, don't know quickly if you have short, you know, acknowledgement statements to make them come this way and run that way.
I would just like to thank the city Akasanoma, because this is a very interesting topic, and it's one of creating awareness. So I'm just appreciating you and keep on doing it. But 28th November we have a conference in Den Haag, and our theme is just imagine a world whereby being gay is normal and being straight is abnormal. Thank you.
We also appreciate your coming, and you are very much welcome any day, not only in this room, but I'm sure from Den Haag down to this place. The bell is called the Hub of Ghanaian Life. There are so many Ghanaians. As long as nobody attacked you and you here, I'm sure you will safely walk back to Den Haag, no problem. And tell the story that you are most welcome here. Next time we have the opportunity, I'm sure you will come with our Ghanaian, brothers, whoever, and then can be quickly.
For me, I came a bit late, but I am sure that my colleagues, they say all that I said, so just wait for that.
I'm really appreciating that I'm invited to this place for the second time to address on the same issue. My extra attention will be given to our sister who courageously came out to support her son. I'm really so appreciative. I wish I had the same parents who would stand for me. I'm really inspired, and please keep on doing it.
I'll keep it up. Nobody can stop me.
Yeah, for me it was my first time to come here, and this was really a very good event. And I think what we should learn, that we should respect each other, despite the difference in sexuality and religion. So, if at all we can respect each other, can live harmony.
If no comments, then
Oh, I thought I heard her talking when I walked in, so please just have your turn. I don't mind. Just when she's done, we'll just thank you all for coming. Yeah?
What I want to say is sometimes we should put ourselves in our brothers or our kids' shoes. We think about having grandkids or granddaughters, but that is not where the issue lies. Please, let's love each other, and that will be enough.
Okay, thank you all for coming, and I hope next time we extend invitations, you'll pass it on, and we have a fuller ball for debate. More than this.
Okay.
Very good night.